How are we doing, guys? We are back with a match preview for Leeds versus Tottenham. It is the Fantastic Four who joined you today. It is myself, Joe over there, Just Joe, the JJ, and then JCK, Just Chris Kelly, and then Just Phil Miles over there as well. But how are we doing, fellas? How are we doing? Phil, it's a while since we had our last argument, so I thought let's get another one in before the game.
Get in. I can't wait, mate. I'm buzzing. Yeah, I'm all good, guys. How are we all doing?
I believe you've been stalking Victor Orser again in the...
Mate, I've been getting
at work
in the WhatsApp group by you mugs because you've all just sent me on a mission to go and speak to Angus Kinnear when I'm at work and I'm there like a nervous wreck, stood behind him like, I can't do this, I can't speak to him, I can't do it, I haven't got the... and
it's Angus Kinnear, I'm not being funny, it's not like it's...
Look, mate, I have serious, like, worries. I'm a very sensitive man. Chris Kelly sat there the whole time messaging me like, he's bottled it. I have fully bottled it. And then I've just gone over to someone else, didn't have a clue who it was. I just thought, I'm going to pick anyone here. I'm just going to do it because Chris Kelly's going to kill me otherwise. I've gone and given Tom Kerwin, I imagine most people will know who he is if you follow Leeds and have done for a long time. I didn't know what he looked like, but as soon as he started talking, I was like, oh, it's Tom.
Yeah, straight away. Oh, Tom.
I'm giving him the biggest sales pitch you have ever heard in your life about this thing that I want to do with them over the summer with us. I'm not going to spoil the surprise yet, but I've given him a massive sales pitch. I've gone and put it in the group chat. Little did I know he's probably already texted Tash like, who's this muppet you've sent to talk to me? And you lot are all taking the mick and just laughing at me. And I'm there like, feeling like I've achieved something, feeling proud. I've been brave. I've spoken to somebody. I was scared.
I think you were brave, man. I think you've done a sterling job.
Yeah, but you're all peeing yourself, laughing at me in the chat.
I'm just imagining the conversation, though.
I'm just welling up with the pride that I feel right now.
I'm just imagining. Phil didn't only mention that. He says, me and Oscar, we do a show on YouTube called Transfer Thing. It says,
I didn't. My first thing was, I was like, I'm going to have to go over here and tell a couple of porkies here because if he thinks I'm just some numpty that comes on once a week, he ain't going to want to take me seriously. So I'm like, right, I run a channel called All Leeds TV.
Oh, right, I see. Right, okay. Someone's been getting above the station a bit here, I think.
I didn't have to own up. I didn't have to say it, but I've come on air. I've said it live. I've gone full blown. I'm like, I run this channel. Me and this.
I run the show. Run the show. Put me in midfield. Angus. I'll run the show there.
Yeah,
I'll run the show.
I run this channel. I've got this great idea. I really want you to get on board. I've gone full pelt with it, and then he's just like, yeah. He's been really great with me. He thinks it's a great idea, and he's very encouraging. He's going to message Angus Kinnear privately on our behalf, and then little do I know he's worked with Tash for quite some time before anyway, and I just look a right muppet now. So, yeah, Tom, if you're watching, thanks for humouring me, pal. And if you're not, then I don't blame you because, yeah.
He's in the comments. He's in the comments. I thought you ran the show.
Out of the 100 people who are watching this right now, I reckon about 4 people actually know what's going on here, and it's just us 4. Because, Phil, I don't think anyone's getting from that story what's actually happened there. But anyway, let's move on a bit. Chris, how's things, man? Are you been doing good, mate?
It took me a couple of days to recover from last weekend, to be honest with you, because that was a mission trying to talk about that game for hours on end, wasn't it? But I'm all right, mate, yeah. Looking forward to this one. Back, the spirits are high again. Stuff we'll cover, I'm sure, in this discussion that's led me to feel a bit more positive about tomorrow. So, yeah, all good, mate.
Well, we all know what the positives are going into this game. A certain Raphinha, Calvin Phillips, whichever one you think's better, whichever one you think's more important, they are both back in for this game. Well, hopefully, at least going to be available to us. Chris, you've already said it, mate, but Phil, that has changed the whole mindset for me going into this game. I think yesterday, speaking to Joe, I just thought, it's just like trying to get up for the game without Raphinha and Phillips, your best 2 players. But now, it feels different, doesn't it, man?
It does. I mean, you know what I'm like. I'm the negative one. I'm going to err on the side of caution.
Don't say it.
No, Marcelo Bielsa's last words that I have heard is that they're going to be assessed tomorrow morning. So until I see them on a team sheet, I'm going to reserve myself. But I'll make 2 predictions. I'll make one with them, one without them. If they're both in the team, I'm happy. If one of them's in the team, I'm happier. If neither of them are in the team, I'm really not very happy.
What are you going for then, Phil? You're going for 2-1 if they're not in the team, 2.5-1 if they are.
That is the most sensible thing I've ever heard you say, Oscar. That was wonderful.
I think they're in. And the reason that I think they're in is because Leeds United have made a big song and dance about it on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's a 2-minute clip.
Yeah.
I don't watch the training clips all the time like I know some people do. I don't religiously watch it. I get my notifications off Twitter and that keeps me up to date. But I wouldn't. Basically, it's a 2-minute clip of showing us Calvin and Raphinha. That's what I know. I read that myself. It's fucking brilliant, isn't it? It is brilliant.
Chris and Phil, modern football fans today. They're just outrageous, aren't they? Outrageous.
These young people.
The youngsters.
At least we're not playing Fulham because it'd just be a full Fulham background, wouldn't it?
Half
going on.
That is true. I might change it to Areola if you're lucky.
Put your 11-a-side Fulham team up there instead.
Yeah, it was good. Hyena, for fuck's sake.
Hyena. You didn't have Stewie D in that team, did you? I need to watch that video. Have you took that video down yet? Because I still need to watch that.
No, I'm hoping that next season I might get a job on Fulhamish if I
That's what he's hoping for. That is what he hopes. He wants to go and live in London, Joe. He wants some London lifestyle now.
Move to the capital.
Move to the capital. That's what he wants. But look, guys, Raphinha, Phillips, whichever way round it goes. I mean, who do you see dropping out now from that potential 11? I mean, obviously, Robin Koch played holding midfield. Is he completely out now, do you think, if Phillips is available?
Well, Coops is back available as well, isn't he? Yeah. So I'm expecting Coops to come back in alongside Llorente. KP, very much fingers crossed, back in at DM with Koch dropping out. And I can't remember who was up top. Was Harrison on the right?
You don't want to remember, mate.
No. It was Dallas, wasn't it?
Dallas on the way.
Yeah, well, Dallas will go back into midfield and
Shades of Dallas under Uwe Rosler, that was.
Yeah. Clicks to come out, do you think?
Yeah.
Most likely.
Yeah, I think so, mate. Yeah. I think Tyler will probably still start.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a couple of comments here coming in. Yeah, Click and Koch. I think that's the most likely, isn't it? I mean, if Dallas is playing...
Clinton Koch?
Wait. It is a tongue twister, that, but you just failed the test there, Mr. Waitman. You just failed the test. Monetization on this video? Gone. Anyway, I'm messing. Phil would have said something inappropriate before that anyway, so, it's all good within the first 10 seconds. But Alioski out, says Alan. I mean, there's a shout for... Would you say there's a shout for Dallas to go to left back with Gareth Bale in the team?
No.
I mean, Phil, you shake your head there. I don't think it'll happen either. But Bielsa has said
I understand why you asked the question because, Alioski... To be honest, Alioski against the bigger teams has been better. It's against the smaller teams that he's looked absolutely shambolic lately. But no, Stuart Dallas, especially the second half of the season, probably all the way through the season, is probably our best midfielder. Taking him out of midfield at the moment and putting him on a wing or at left back, I don't care where you're putting him, it's the wrong decision. I think he needs to stay at centre mid. Matthias Klick's not back to the levels that he should be at, whether that's for whatever reason, fitness, injury, whatever it is. I've stopped caring about what the reason is. He's just not there. We have Stuart Dallas, who is at that level, has been performing consistently in that position. And when we've taken him out, like we did against Brighton, it didn't go well. Tyler Roberts, might be up and down, but him and Dallas have been doing well there together. And then you took Dallas out, shoved him to the right of Tyler instead of the left, and it changed. And Tyler had a not great game either. So I think he needs to stay where he is, Dallas.
Okay. We have seen with Bielsa in the past, though, that he has always said that left-footed right wingers, he always likes to have Dallas on there because he's tackling on his stronger foot. when the player cuts in. That's what he's kind of said in the past. I remember. Look, I'm not saying Jared Bowen's the same quality of player as Gareth Bale, but I remember when Dallas first went into that left back spot was against Jared Bowen, who happens to be left-footed right winger. I think there's a case for it. I think with the way Alioski played last time, the fact he came off at half time as well was quite damning.
There's no one to replace Dallas though in midfield.
No,
that's true.
I think what probably saves Alioski, mate, is the fact that they were all poor. Let's call it poor because it's early on a Friday evening. They were poor, so that's probably saved him his starting spot because he wasn't the standout sole poor player that day. They were all pretty pump.
It's frustrating because I thought he was getting somewhere, and then he was shy. And the sorry, I should have said poor. He was bad, and then the whole penalty thing. Like, what are you doing, you idiot? The best thing was there was 2 Leeds players. I don't know who they were, but there was just 2 Leeds players in centre backs. Welbeck, so he was going nowhere.
Has anyone watched the game back or highlights? BBC highlights.
No.
Just watch if you ever do. Honestly, I don't think you should anyway. Because watching back that first goal, the free kick was the worst cross I've ever seen. Not one player sliced it. Click and Pascal, I think, both sliced the ball into Danny Welbeck.
It goes past Bamford, hits.
It's Bamford.
Then goes to Welbeck, and then Alioski just decides to, I don't know, be some sort of hermit crab and attach himself to his leg. It's just strange. He gave the free kick away in the first place, though, needlessly as well. Yeah. He just started pulling Mopé back, and Mopé wasn't going anywhere there. There was no need for it. So, generally, that first half is up there with Fulham first half, equally bad.
Are we all in agreement that we just want him binned off?
I don't mind him as a squad player, maybe next season, but I can't have him in the first team at left back.
No, I'm the same. I think again, if we're talking about this squad progressing and going to the next level, then we can't be carrying.
He's been linked with clubs like
Napoli,
and that other team. But how is he getting
Napoli?
Yeah, Napoli, bro. He's been linked with Napoli.
He's got a good agent. You know he has.
Napoli.
That is the fall of Napoli, isn't it? They played the Diego Maradona Stadium, and they played Alioski there, kind of thing. It just doesn't doesn't seem right, does it?
It still seemed mad that he was linked across there as well with them. Because I don't see his level being anywhere close to European football.
He's certainly not Napoli. It's Serie A.
That's what I'm saying, bro. So when I heard that I'd seen the Napoli, I was like, what?
Well, they're not a Champions League team anymore. They're probably going to get
anyway.
Yeah, but a Europa League team. Do you not see the thing about Alfonso Pedraza, and he's now going to the Europa League final?
Pedraza was 19 when he was playing for us.
Yeah, I know,
and he came in it was a mad time.
You can get a lot of nobodies.
He was a winger as well for us, Pedraza.
Yeah, you can't put them two in the same bracket.
No, but my point was the Europa League is full of nobodies to an extent, like Man United, for example. So if he goes and plays in the Europa League, that's his glass ceiling. Well done to him. Fine.
I think he's broken the ceiling, to be honest. I think if his head's coming through the ceiling if he's playing in the Europa League. I don't want to be disrespectful, but there's probably 15 or 16 players in our squad who are closer to Europa League football than Alioski for me in terms of quality.
I've seen a few people in the comments saying that apparently the deal's done with those over in Turkey. I've not seen anything official on that, so for me it's still rumours, but it seems to be growing more and more legs. Someone's made a point of saying about a winger. Sign him as a winger. He spends more time offside than he does on it. Trust me. Yeah. Well, that bloke wrote that song about him. He did a full song, and part of it was that he's offside all the time. Was basically the compliment it paid him.
It was so frustrating, man. He was so frustrated, especially in the ground. I don't know why. It just feels worse when you see just how far they are off, and it's like, what are you doing? It's not good, is it?
Is he just?
He's not good. Bin him off. Time to go.
Is he just a cheap, attractive option for some of these clubs? Do you know what I mean? He'd be on a free, probably quite low wages. It doesn't justify it for me, but at the end of the day, I'm not running one of these clubs.
Imagine him against Ronaldo or Lukaku or something like that in Serie A. He'd get absolutely.
I don't think he would. That'd be his one game of the season where he'd have an absolute worldie. He'd have his Gianni 9 out of 10, and then the rest of it be absolutely
It's just there pulling faces at Ronaldo and that. Like.
He'd get Ronaldo sent off, mate. He'd get him sent off because he'd just do his napper in for first 10 minutes. Ronaldo would just lay one on him.
Yeah.
Deary me. No, but
Zlatan as well. Zlatan just pick him up and throw him.
I like Zlatan, you know.
I don't want to because
what a surprise. Wayman liking ex-Man United players. No surprises there.
No, I've read his book. That was even before he went to Man United. I just think he's an unbelievable.
I'm with Joe on this one. He's a likeable character. I enjoy.
Have you read his? Honestly, read his autobiography. He's come from nothing. As well. He's a good guy.
He's similar to Mourinho in a sense, in that even though they're not associated with our clubs, you can't help but find them entertaining. Yeah. Like the Premier League. The Premier League benefits from having Jose Mourinho in it. Well, Tottenham didn't, obviously, but we benefited from his post-match interviews and stuff. Yeah. And having Zlatan here was kind of the same. Like when he calls himself the king or the lion, a little bit of you is a bit like, that's just sickening.
He speaks about himself in the third person.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
He's peaks now, though. He's peaks like Mourinho, though.
That's like Cantona, though. Cantona could do it and get away with it. And Zlatan is almost the same for me. They've both got some sort of aura about them where they can kind of get away with that kind of thing.
He's like Mourinho, though. He's kind of gone past. He's past it now, really.
I can't get on board with it. Zlatan makes my shit itch. I'm not going to lie.
There you go, Chris. When he called it on with Lukaku, saying who's the king of Milan and all that lot, and then Lukaku scored a hat trick against him, and he got sent off. And Lukaku's won the league. He's gone. He's gone like Mourinho.
I love that he said that on the football pitch. That's amazing. Do you know what I mean?
And then he gets absolutely just nice. But in the past, though, Ibrahimovic calls that on. He's the winner, isn't he? But no, he's like Mourinho now for me.
Remember that goal he scored against England, man, the opening of the Sweden.
It was a friendly. It was Joe Hart in there. What was Joe Hart doing on that goal?
He scored though, bro. It was fucking outstanding.
It was good.
Man.
It was a bit good for 6'6". That's just
absolutely ruins.
How someone who's 6'6" could do that? Anyway, why are we talking about Ibrahimovic? Why
Joe won it, talking about scum players again.
There we go. What a surprise. We talk about Pogba next. Dear me. I mean, look, our record in these games has been so much better second half of the season. It's 9 points out of 6 against the top 6. Second half of the season, only 1 point out of 6. First half of the season, massive improvement defensively. We conceded 15 fewer goals against these 6 teams in the second half of the season. Phil, are you expecting another competitive Leeds performance today? Tomorrow at the very least?
Like I said, if Calvin Phillips is in there, defensively I won't feel as concerned as... I don't think it'll be a repeat of the first game and them banging 3 past us, because the form going into the 2 games is different and the team going into the 2 games is different. I think if they're both in there, I would fancy us to go and... We're not scoring enough at the moment, and obviously having Raphinha out for the last 2 games is going to contribute to that. So I think if Calvin's in, I'd feel more confident in us shutting them out to an extent. I still think they'll score, but I think having Raphinha in as well gives me the confidence that we will also score. So I'd be very happy with a 1-1 draw or just a point tomorrow. To be honest, we haven't lost at home to any of the greedy 6 clubs so far this season. I'd like to make that a complete set tomorrow if we can. I'd like a win. I'd be very happy with a draw as well.
That's the thing. I still look at this Tottenham team and say they've got 3 or 4. Well, they've got 2 world-class players, Kane and Son. There's no doubt about that. They get into any team in the league. They're probably the top 5. They're among the top 5 players in the league for me, Kane and Son.
Yeah.
And then you got likes of Ndombele, who might not even play. Højbjerg's decent. Bale's obviously in decent form at the minute. Who's done well second half of the season. But after you get past that, it's quite an average team, though, if we're being honest.
You get
past those 5. It is, though, isn't it, Phil?
Yeah, defensively especially, I think they're there to be got at. And I don't think since Mourinho's gone, there's 3 games that I don't think there's enough to judge Ryan Mason on what he's done so far and to sort of people can say they go into this in good form. Like, you played Sheffield United, man. Everybody's beaten them, so that's not a good run of form. And I know it's a different standard, but the cup final against City, they were lucky to get away with a 1-0 defeat. To be honest, it could have been 3 or 4 easily. So it depends. I thought Mourinho in games like this against Bielsa was a factor in them being favourites. Without Mourinho there, I do feel more confident than I did at the start of the season playing him.
I like this comment. Like a cut and shut car. Ferrari up front, the Skoda back. Oh, dearie me. Listen, I've got family who drive Skodas. They're rude. You know, I find that a bit rude, but yeah, you are right. You are right.
Well.
I don't mind a Skoda, but I get the point. The point is, it's a good point. They are cut and shut. You know, if you can keep a clean sheet against them, there's a good chance you're winning the game, isn't there, Joe?
Yeah, I agree. I think, like you say, Kane, phenomenal numbers this season. Son's been great as well. I think that again's props to Mourinho as well, you know, because Mourinho said, I think it was Merson said that he wouldn't work with Kane. Yeah. He reeled off, he went Drogba, so many goals, Militao, so many goals, listed off all these strikers. And he basically done what he said.
Paul Merson said that Didier Drogba wasn't good under Jose Mourinho.
Yeah, I know.
That's not a good take, that. That's really not a good take,
he said this. And then, so Mourinho has done that, really. I'm not saying... Because Kane wasn't putting the outputs that he was in terms of assists and goals like he has done this season. So props to him for that. But, yeah, I think just on Spurs... Defensively, the gash. I don't think the squad depth up is nowhere close. I think people like who are they bringing off the bench all the time? Lamella, Winks. They're just meh. They're just a bit meh for me. Do you know what I mean? And I think I'm more positive against, like Phil said, against a Ryan Mason Spurs than I am a Jose Mourinho Spurs. You know, we said yesterday, Oscar, I was petrified leading up to that first tie that we played them because they were flying as well prior to that. Not so much close to the game, but I remember when they were flying and it was like, fuck, man, we'll get battered by these. But we didn't get battered, did we? I know the scoreline might say we beat
the difference in that game was, obviously they got the early goal. It was Kane and Son. I actually thought we weren't that bad on the day. We actually matched them, but them two just completely destroyed us in the game. I mean, let me just read some stats.
That was a very dodgy penalty. I still say it's dodgy, that penalty. He wasn't in the box.
I can't remember. Was that what? Yeah, was that when Melier gave it away in the middle of the pitch?
Alioski gives away a penalty, but it wasn't in the box.
Really?
You what? What?
And we conceded from a set piece as well, didn't we? Alderweireld, I think. From a set piece, can you imagine?
I think cannot relate.
I think the big thing tomorrow for me is with us and how we get what we didn't do well against Brighton was transition well. So out of our defence, we had nothing going forward, which is why I'm screaming. And I hope that both KP and Raph are both fit enough to start because they're both critical in that phase of our play. Ball, it's normally KP breaking it up and then distributing the ball, and then Rafa's gone like a lunatic, isn't he, down the wing? And I think if we can get that bit right, they are definitely there to be got at tomorrow.
We win the game if them two play.
Yeah, I've got us as winning, mate. Definitely, I think so. I think we can really get at him. I think Rafa will scare the life out of him. He's going to be buzzing if he's back as well. You know what he's like. He'll be an angry man that he's had a few games out. Yeah. He'll be raging.
Yeah. He has got Fernandinho's address, I'm telling you.
Oh, mate, I'm telling you, next time we play them, Rafa's snapping him. Don't you worry about
Fernandinho is going to have to be careful. And that the day before the Champions League final, because Rafinha's going to think, I'm getting you. It's just, Manchester Airport, he's there, just 2 foot him at Manchester Airport. That's what you can see after them. But let me read you these stats just to sum up Tottenham this season. Harry Kane, 26 goals, 15 assists in all competitions. Son, 20 goals, 14 assists. Gareth Bale, 14 goals, 4 assists. And then after that, You've got Vinicius with 10 goals, Lucas with 8 goals, and then you've got to go right down the list to Ndombele on 5 goals. So they are a 2-3-man team, this Tottenham team. There's little doubt about that. And
Patrick Bamford's got more goals and assists than Gareth Bale.
yeah, there you go.
Two, but take one, won't you?
Yeah,
There's
no getting away
as well.
There's no getting away from that front three. That's a scary front three when it's on form. And like you say, Kane and Son will get in most teams in European football without a shadow of a doubt. And I actually think Son's the better player out of those two. I'd take Son before Kane, definitely. But yeah, it's going to come down to how we defend to start with. And if KP's back in there with Llorente and Coops, because it will, I know people in the comments going, "Oh, Leaky Liam or Leaguewood Liam." If he's fit, he's back in, guys. It's something you're just going to need to suck up and deal with. Coops will be starting, and I'm not going to bang on about his stats again. That's Phil's job to bang on about stats, but he's not as bad as everyone. Well, he's not as bad as everyone makes out. It's just an agenda with Coops. But so defending's going to be one thing. Alioski not giving away a penalty would be lovely. And then, like I say, if we can break through and go, I don't think they've got an identity as a Ryan Mason team yet. I don't think they quite know how they're meant to be playing, which is a chance for us to capitalise on that. And the other positive for me is rarely, yes, we might have gone 2 games without winning in the past this season, 4 games without winning, picking up a couple of draws, but we've rarely had 2 bad performances back to back.
Yeah,
and I don't expect it to be bad tomorrow.
The only time I can remember 2 or 3 back-to-back bad performances, it was Brighton and Tottenham. I didn't want to throw that out.
What a surprise. Phil was desperate to have it noted down. Make sure I mention that. Make sure I mention that.
Bad, though. I don't think we were that bad against Tottenham the first
We were
time.
Against Brighton there. Brighton.
Oh, yeah. Brighton, we've been poor for 180 minutes. Yeah, Brighton, we've been poor for 180 minutes of football. No 2 ways about that. But I don't think we were too bad against Spurs the first time. We just got done by class, didn't we? Yeah,
it was quality. I do have one thing written down, Oscar, that I did want to say. Is this still classed as a home game, considering we're actually playing on their pitch?
True. I mean, conspiracy theorists among us will say that if someone slips and it leads to a goal, I think we all know it's down to Mr. Levy, isn't it? I think we all know it's down to Mr. Levy. But
I just want to stick one on them because they think they're a big club, which makes me laugh. They think they're an elite European club, and it just boils my piss a little bit.
They're the least big European club of the 6 apparent big European clubs.
If it was being done on history, like they said, and everything else, then there's numerous teams, some not even in the Premier League, that are bigger club. They're a bigger club than Spurs. And Nottingham Forest, for example, are a bigger club than Spurs.
It's only because they're based in London. I'm convinced of that.
It's the stadium alone. It's the stadium alone.
Money, man.
But I don't think they'd be in. If Tottenham were based in London, honestly, they just there would be, if they're based in Birmingham or something. I don't know. I just think they're lucky. They're lucky that they're based in that kind of area, quite a big, busy part of London. Arsenal next door. Yeah, they're just lucky.
Plus,
they're lucky.
I wasn't lucky to have Arsenal next door. To be fair,
I wasn't going to hate on Tottenham too much tonight till that lad that was on the opposition preview last night said we were burning out, and I was just pure raging.
He was great. Man.
Oh, he's class, mate. He's class. But I was like, oh, he's been sold down the river with this Bielsa burnout thing, and I was just I had to log off.
Perpetuated.
Yeah, I did like that. I actually wrote it in the comments. Then someone put it underneath going, don't know what that means. I was like.
What was it? Harry Potter and Scotty
Starstruck.
Harry Potter.
It was brilliant.
Oh,
it's mad. Who takes the Tottenham job? Who takes the Arsenal job? Because he's probably going to get the boot in the summer as well. These 2 massive clubs that are at crossroads, man. They're at crossroads. If Spurs lose Kane or Son, it's rebuild time. Spurs fans might look. To be fair, I was on 90 Minute earlier, and they were saying, look, if we beat Leeds and City beat Chelsea, they're 2 points off top 4.
Yeah, but you still look at. I think the thing with Tottenham is you can easily look at their whole team and say, the week there, the week here, the week everywhere else, but they have got the best forwards out of anyone.
Yeah.
Even City, I don't think have got.
Yeah.
I think if City were offered, if you offer Pep Guardiola a swap between Mahrez and Jesus and Kane and Son, he's not going to take it, is he? That's the thing.
I think the easiest way to look at it, Oscar, is if you take the back 8 of City and put those 3 at the front of them,
exactly.
City are scoring about 100, they're getting about 115 points a season and absolutely annihilating everyone. I mean, someone like a Harry Kane or a Son in that City team is a frightening thought.
Yeah, exactly. I think I know you like your stats, Phil, but this shows Tottenham, in terms of not created many chances, but Son, especially in terms of being clinical, he's got an XG this season in the league in all competitions of 11.3. He scored 20 goals. That sums up his finishing.
Clinical, yeah.
That sums up.
See, I mean, without looking at
does that mean? Sorry, does that mean he should have scored 11 goals? But he's got 20?
With the chances he got 20.
He should have scored 11 and a half goals, but he's overperformed his XG by just being a clinical finisher, basically, which is why it's the amount he's got. I would have said out of the two of them, just not looking at stats, just going on just naturally what you see from watching the game, I would have assumed Kane was the more clinical finisher of the two.
Well, Clayton's still clinical himself. He was expected 21.5. He's got 26, so he's not too bad himself, to be fair, is Kane. So that's the thing. We could really keep this Tottenham team quiet. Bamford's, I will find out for you 1 second, mate. I will. I'm
enjoying the night off and letting Oscar do it.
Right, so Bamford. Any other requests? What's Phil Miles' performance? How's he been doing in 5-a-side? I will find that data out as well.
Now, I would like to compare after this Meslier and Lloris on the post-shot XG thing for a personal debate.
What's post-shot XG?
So it's similar to the finishing one, where if Meslier has if he's expected to make a certain amount of saves based on the shots that he's faced, and if he's conceded a certain amount of goals more than the post-shot XG, it's how you under and overperform, basically similar to scoring goals.
I absolutely can't stand XG.
Like in the last 5 years.
Yeah, it's been. I've only heard it since All Stats. So. Yeah, it's just mad.
It's John McKenzie and Josh Hobbs' fault that we're discussing this. You know, I get XG. It's useful. It's handy, but it's not. I don't know.
I was doing XG a good 3 or 4 years ago at Opta.
You invented it, mate. You invented it.
No, I didn't invent it.
I
did in putting the things though when I pressed my buttons, and that's how they calculated things.
Right. Anyway, Bamford's post. Not post. Phil's got into my head now. Not post shot XG, but I'm not even sure what that is.
Isn't a penalty 0.6 XG?
Something like that. That's what. This is where it gets crazy, though. This is where it gets crazy in terms of how it's worked out. But anyway, Bamford 15.1 expected, 14 goals. So not too bad. Not too bad.
Compared to last season,
you should have one goal more. I can even find out last season's for you. This website I'm on's that good. We should probably get a sponsorship from this website, you know.
What is it? Which one is it?
It's FB Ref. So if anyone from FB Ref is watching this, I mean, me and Phil use this website so much on the transfer show. I mean, we should get a sponsorship from them. I think we should. I think we deserve that.
I'd take that.
Yeah.
What's the other one? SofaScore. Is that good or not?
SofaScore. Don't go SofaScore.
Hang on, don't be slagging them off. They might come in and give you a sponsorship.
Absolutely. SofaScore is the best website you can possibly go for.
So SofaScore are the people that keep putting Liam Cooper in team of the season, which we do like, but when you look at their metrics and the measures, it's not quite as.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I'm a big fan of Coops. I wouldn't be putting him in the team of the season.
And Infogol are good.
They're all good. They're all
fantastic. They can all sponsor us.
This is shameless.
I'll tell you who else is good. Oasis. You know the ones who make the big drinks? They're also very good.
Excellent. Dynamo. The Yorkshire Dynamo over there. Oh, dear me. I was thinking that.
You want to see something else? Watch this.
Well,
Do you want to see this? Oh!
Oh, he's gone.
He's still there, though. I still think he's there. Are you there, Joe? He's still there.
that's where Phil should live, just behind a big wall.
Where you can't hear him.
Sorry, we should really talk about the game.
I've got a big thing trying to upstage Phil with the XG stats. But what the point was trying to make on that was that we could do a great job defensively on Tottenham in this game, but they're so clinical at the other end of the pitch that it could be a moment of magic. Son smashes one in from 30 yards. Kane gets on the ball. He puts an inch-perfect pass into Bale. There's nothing we can do. We're playing one of those teams for me. A bit like the Man United game, a bit like the Liverpool game. There's things that their players can do on the pitch that you can do nothing about.
Yeah,
you can't do anything about tactically.
If we come off the pitch tomorrow and we've been beat 2-0 and it's two absolute worldies, but we've put a performance in, then you can't sit and gripe too much. These are, like we say, these are world-class players up front for Tottenham. Like you say, Kane's got the potential of just wrapping his left foot round one and putting it in the top bins.
Cheers, mate. That really makes that was nice. That was nice.
Tomorrow, I want performance first and then result. I want to see us perform again after the last game against Brighton, where we were completely deserved to get absolutely walloped by Brighton. We were awful. So, again, we're not fighting a relegation fight here. So, where I'd be like, oh, it doesn't matter. 3 points is all we need. Tomorrow, I want to see us go at Tottenham and put a bit of a performance in. And fingers crossed, come away with something. But again, I think it relies on those two players that we missed so much last weekend. Personally.
No, absolutely, yeah. I was looking at it really, Phil, and thinking if Raphinha wasn't available, and he might still not be yet, how do we get up the pitch? Like, who's going to produce that amount of magic with Harrison and Bamford out of form? I think it's a massive boost, because I think one player who really disappointed me on Saturday against Brighton was Rodrigo. Yeah. He came on in his best position. Yeah. This is the situations we bought him for, £30 million. He's supposed to come on in games like that and get, not on his own, but he's supposed to give us that boost. He's supposed to score these big goals for us and give us these big performances. And I just thought, as Joe said yesterday, he spent the half an hour on the pitch just chasing Ben White, and he never got near him once. I don't think he got within 5 yards of Ben White.
I thought with Rodrigo coming on, that him coming on for Patrick Bamford was the wrong decision. I thought Bamford looked isolated, and if anything, it would have made more sense to have someone up there with him. I kind of thought it was the wrong thing. Either way, look, this season hasn't gone to plan for Rodrigo, and I don't think that that's going to change over the course of the next 4 games. Whether he has a great game in all 4 of them and scores 4 goals, at the end of this season, you're still going to be looking and say he hasn't delivered what a £30 million player should. That isn't to say that next season he can't have a full pre-season under Bielsa and change that and then come back next season and do it more with what we expected of him. But I just think with Rodrigo, it's a case of, like I've said to you guys on the show before, for Spain, he's a number 9. For Valencia, he's played a number of different positions. For Leeds United, I honestly don't know what he was bought for. It's like he was bought to replace Pablo Hernandez.
I don't think he was, though. I think the plan was...
What was he bought for then? Because he's not...
I think the plan... I don't think we expected Patrick Bamford to score 3.
So he was meant to go
was it 4 in his first 4?
Yeah.
He got 4 in his... The problem was, Rodrigo turned up the same time as Robin Koch 2 weeks before that Liverpool game. Yeah. He was never going to play that Liverpool game. Robin Koch only played that game because Liam Cooper was out. He came in, Patrick Bamford scores on his debut. Not his debut, the first game of the season. Yeah. You can't drop Patrick Bamford. I do genuinely think that we were looking at it and thinking Rodrigo would have been the starting centre forward. I think that was the idea. At the very least,
we'd have ended up with Bamford in at some stage because he didn't deliver when he has played up front.
Do you
exactly?
Do you think, and I've heard others say this, so it's not just my point, but I think it's worth putting it out there. Do you think Rodrigo was ever a target and just became available and Leeds United were like, this is Rodrigo. He's available. It's 27 million. That's a snip for Spain's number 9. Should we go for it? Yeah, let's go for it. Bam. Because he is at the arse end of his career. And I don't think, like you guys do the transfer show.
Yeah.
I don't think he ever was on that list as it's such. For
Great with the Championship.
We know Llorente was on that list, and Llorente's 27 as well, so he's not exactly young.
Yeah, I think I think maybe slightly different for a defender.
I just think in terms of output, I'm talking about.
I don't think
someone. I think Raphinha became available.
Yeah, I think the Rodrigo one, it seemed to come from nowhere, didn't it? And like Orta rushed out there all of a sudden, like you say, someone's got wind that Rodrigo's available, Valencia are on their arse financially, whatever it may be.
Well, Valencia are.
It doesn't feel like a Leeds United signing, as in what we're trying to build now. So maybe we're not a panic buy, but someone Spain's
it's one of them. It's
like
too good to turn down.
Yeah,
I think there's a case for
it. Here, he's this much. Oh, Rodrigo. Yeah, fucking hell. We'll take him. I still expect him to come good. I've still got confidence that Rodrigo will come good. It won't be this season. I think Phil's right. I think he needs a pre-season. However he does a pre-season, and then obviously a Bielsa pre-season running around a lot. Needs to stay fit for a period of time. And I think a couple of goals, because we've seen flashes from him. Like there was at one point where he was playing in the midfield and he was just, he looked superb. One touch and the ball was gone and Raphinha was away. And it looked like they'd been bought to play together almost at times, but he's not had a run of games. So I know people are already, you see people in the comments, not necessarily on here, but on other sites going, it's £30 million wasted. I'm not so sure yet. If he's poor next season, then absolutely.
I think it's better next season. I
think
and I say with Valencia, in terms of in Spanish football, they are Derby in Spanish football in terms of absolutely all over the place. They sold their entire team in 2 weeks. And Rodrigo was actually the first one they sold. So it's very possible that it just came available because there was talk of Ollie Watkins at one point, and not being funny. At the time, if you're offered Rodrigo, Moreno, or Ollie Watkins at 27 million, you're taking Rodrigo.
This is what I'm saying.
That might be
with hindsight. You might say different, but that's what I'm saying. It felt to me, he became available at the price, and it was like, we're having that. We're having that 100%. And I get it. Him
and Raphinha, I think Room puts it pretty much spot on there. Him and Raphinha, they've not actually played on the pitch that many times together.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Rodrigo's been out a couple of times. When Rodrigo's come back, Raphinha's been out. They both signed at different times of the season. We've seen that link up at Newcastle away. When we went up to St James's Park and Raphinha scored that goal. It was all Rodrigo's work, and then Rodrigo. I think those two on the pitch, there's a chemistry there, and I think it's possible if Bamford starts next season slowly that he might be under pressure for that starting centre forward spot, because Rodrigo, when he's on it, is an absolutely incredible player to have in your squad.
Do we if my real concern is, and I've been thinking it for a while, it's going to be difficult for Bamford to replicate what he's done this season. And I know he hasn't scored a lot for a while now, but I don't put it down to him missing chances because I can't remember the last gilt-edged chance he missed. It's actually service into him. He's not getting it. So maybe I'm being a little bit harsh, but if Rodrigo isn't a substitute for him as such in that role, we definitely need to go out and get one for me, because
I think in an ideal world next season, the plan this summer is obviously to bring in creativity. That's the main priority, surely. Whether that be a DePaul, a winger, whatever you want to bring, someone that's going to create these chances. Because when Raphinha's been out the team, or when a combination of our creative players has been out the team,
I really want him, man.
Yeah, I do. He's come available.
Really
He's
I don't.
Oh, mate, you look at him. I
don't think we need a striker.
Oh, but when you get this off,
he's never going to be available. A player of his potential and ilk's not going to be. He's not getting used at all. He has,
Would he just go back to Villa though?
No, because I've heard him apparently West Ham, and it's like, no, he can do better than that. No disrespect to West Ham, I'm thinking, come on, he would be in this side for years to come. He could be the real focal. But I'm a massive fan of Tammy Abraham, and I think he was suit us down to the ground. He's going to be available. You spent 27 million on, get it spent on him because he would be.
But then what do you do with the strikers we already have?
No, but look, you have to move, right? You have to move on. I think him and Bamford would have to battle it out.
Yeah. I do think when you talk about if it's a case of shift out Rodrigo and then bring Tammy in, then I can understand the reasoning behind that. I just personally don't see it happening. I don't think it's for us, but I can see why you'd say so.
The thing, Tammy Abraham, a player of his quality, is going to be at a really low price this summer because Chelsea aren't using him. Chelsea's system, it doesn't really have a striker in there. You've got Kai Havertz playing there. You've got Werner in there. And you saw how well Chelsea played against Real Madrid. They destroyed him, really. It should have been at 4 or 5. Abraham's not getting in that team anytime soon. Giroud isn't getting in that team. I'd probably say a similar thing with Giroud if Giroud came available.
Yeah, mate, I'm not going to lie. I'd bite your hand off for an Olivier Giroud.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Tammy.
Yeah. Doesn't suit our system.
No, I'd still go Tammy over him. The age, the big factor for me.
I don't care about the age because we'd have to ship in and ship out over the next few seasons anyway. So,
but with Tammy, you wouldn't need to.
I don't rate him that much.
For Abraham, you'd only have to have 2 seasons at this club, and I reckon you could get him. You could get easily over 50 mil for him. And I think he's got that much potential about him. I personally think probably the second best English striker around at the minute after Kane. For me, I'd probably go that far. Really would, but Southgate won't put him in the squad because he doesn't play for Chelsea, and that's Southgate for you.
Who's behind Kane?
Abraham. I genuinely would say Abraham. Out and out centre forward is probably the second best
for England.
Yeah.
Nah.
Who's better?
Calvert-Lewin's better than Tammy Abraham.
No, Calvert-Lewin. Start the season. He was on fire. Start the season.
Calvert-Lewin is better than Tammy Abraham.
He dropped off. Calvert-Lewin. He's dropped off.
Danny Ings. James Vardy. I know Vardy's not going to the Euros.
He is. I'm with Oscar on this. I think Tammy's unbelievable.
And we're all not putting Patrick Bamford ahead of Tammy. So look at the Golden Boot race, mate. Patrick Bamford's the best English striker in the league, minus Harry Kane. End of.
I don't listen. I love Paddy. He plays for Leeds, but if I could swap the Chelsea boys around, I would. I'm sorry, I would.
I really like. I've had no problem with Bamford starting games for us next season, but I just think the opportunity is there to get someone like Abraham at his age.
I think
his price. I think you've got to take it. To be honest, I think you've got to take it.
For me, it massively depends where Bielsa sees Rodrigo fitting in. So if Bielsa primarily sees Rodrigo as this centre midfielder number 10-ish role, then yes, maybe we do bring in another striker. I think Bielsa's got. He doesn't seem keen on having a wealth of strikers, does he? He never has done.
No,
I mean, and plus Leeds United tend to fall on their arse when bringing in strikers as well.
Yes.
In the recent past, don't we? Let's talk Jean-Kevin Augustin and players like that. I mean, Eddie was okay, but not a Leeds striker. Going to be a very good player, but didn't suit our system.
Well, not unless he stays at Arsenal. If he stays there, he's fucked, isn't he?
They don't want him. Apparently, he's not been that great at Arsenal, to be honest. So they don't want him.
He's not got enough to his game, mate. Nketiah, in terms of he'll get you goals.
He's a finisher, isn't he? He's a finisher.
It's the other things. I just think nowadays, Chris. I don't think finishers. I think they need more than finishers now. If you're playing one up top, teams do everything. In a 2 up top, you can say, if you get a big target man alongside him,
I was about to say, mate, he's like the modern day Kevin Phillips, isn't he? He needs a Niall Quinn stood next to him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Knocking balls in, and he'll get you 20, 30 goals then. But doing it on his own up front, he's not strong enough. He doesn't look bothered enough to get around the pitch. I mean, it's a tough one to bring a striker in to fit how we play, I think. I mean, it's taken... That's why he loves Bamford, isn't it? Because he's moulded to exactly what Bielsa wants from a striker. But if he sees Rodrigo as a centre midfielder, then we need to bring someone in. I've seen people saying, Gelhart and Sam Greenwood and stuff. I don't think Bielsa sees them for next season, personally. Certainly not regularly. They might get a bit of time on the field, but I think, again, if we're looking to progress, we need someone else as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think in a normal situation, I'd say probably not, but it's just the fact that Abraham's about to leave. I don't think the big priority for us is striker, to be honest. I still think, as Phil said, it's the creativity side of things. You look at the midfield that will play tomorrow, Phillips, Roberts, Dallas. Work rate wise, in terms of keeping the whole team compact, you can't have any complaints with them. That's been the big part of why we've kept the clean sheets for me. I don't think our defenders have suddenly become world beaters overnight. They've always been good defenders, but they've got that protection now in front of them. I just think maybe with Phillips and Dallas there on their own, I think they can do enough of a job to justify us being able to bring in a luxury player, if you like, a Pereira. De Paul's not going to happen, unfortunately. He's going to Inter Milan. By all the, Conte apparently he's been having words. He's not going to take Inter Milan if he gets.
He's not getting enough stick in these comments. Someone, please tell him, shut up. Stop saying no.
Phil,
for De Paul.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
That's not nice.
Phil Hayes poured water on it for weeks and weeks.
It's not going to happen, mate.
I love Phil Hay, but he's not always right, guys. So
he is.
It's all right. Let's be optimistic about this.
I'm taking Phil over you, Phil.
Oh, you're funny. Yeah, there's only one Phil.
You're not to.
No, but I mean, in terms of who I'm gonna err on the side of getting it right or wrong,
I think I've resigned myself to the fact that he won't be coming, and if he does, then I'll be apoplectic with excitement. But we know what our recruiting's like as well. There'll be someone else in the pipeline.
Shit, anyway, it's no you and no Kane.
Fact.
And we've just lost.
I can't believe we're getting rid of him. I can't believe we're getting. I mean, breaking news: retire the shirt. Nuno Kane's leaving.
I know.
What?
Correct.
I had no idea he was still here.
No.
Wasim Boy is competing for starting 11 games next season, isn't he? That was what I've heard.
I didn't know Wasim Boy was still here, just because.
He is, isn't he?
Get rid of him
like
on
a
FIFA.
6-year deal, I think.
Boy's still at the club, as well.
Yeah, you can't get rid of him. You got to try swap him in every deal, and no one will take him.
Honestly, though,
it's so annoying.
you could tell me right now, Felix Vival's still at the club. I know he isn't, but I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
Lauren de Bock?
No, I don't know. I think it might have been AC. I forget.
Silvestri.
Yeah.
He's been linked. He's apparently been awesome since he left.
Mate, I rated him at Leeds though.
Oh, mate, he was just smoking 20
Spilvestri.
That's all that held him back.
Spilvestri. Oh, he was. Yeah. He wasn't the bravest of goalkeepers, was he? Though, come on, Chris. I mean,
but isn't he? Is he long-term replacement for Donnarumma? Is that the crack?
Deary me.
Is that what it is, though?
Nah, because Donnarumma's pretty young.
No, but he's on about moving, is what I'm saying. He could be on his way.
Oh God, that's.
Oh, can I not shut it down, because we never know. I know Bielsa likes him, but I will be. If what the level we're pitching at this summer is Ryan Kent, then we aren't improving as a team next season, in my opinion.
Disagree.
I think he's all. I think I quite like Ryan Kent.
I think he'd be brilliant.
Nah, if he was that good, Liverpool wouldn't have shot him over the border and left him there. Nah.
No, I disagree, man. I think he'd be brilliant.
Nah.
Who would you rather, Chris, coming off the bench? Just hypothetical. Helder Costa, Pervader, or Ryan Kent, and that's the big thing for me in terms of the depth.
But,
I think Ryan Kent gives you decent depth.
Is a Ryan Kent going to come and sit on the bench? No.
I think you could.
Rodrigo sat on a bench for 30 million most of the season.
Yes, I have watched him, James. Jesus Christ, what's up with people in the chat? Of course, I've watched him, or I wouldn't have an opinion on him, would I? Jesus Christ, can melt.
Oh, Chris, he's
guys, we have not spoken at
Chris
all.
has gone full PSG.
He's gone. Oh, dude. I tell you what. If Stoke City had done what PSG did on Tuesday, then there wouldn't just be newspaper headlines. There'd been a whole newspaper saying the scandal of the Etihad. If Leeds had done that, it'd be dirty Leeds strike again and all that lot. But because it's PSG and all that lot, they get away with it. But, oh, dear me. It was so obvious, though, that what they were trying to do, PSG. It was just like, to be honest, I kind of wouldn't have minded us doing that when we were 6-2 down at Old Trafford. You know, if we'd have gone to that, I'd have quite happily taken that, to be fair, towards the end of the game. Just blatantly.
What's the deal with Noah Lang? Does anyone know anything about him at all?
No, to be honest, I've heard about him, but know nothing about him.
Club Brugge. He was in the Ajax Youth Academy with Pascal Struijk. So if you played on FIFA with,
what is he, a winger? Is he a winger?
It's like, I think he wants to be a striker, but he's been played out on a wing as well. But he can basically do. So
both. He's the next Thierry Henry. Is that what we're saying?
I think that's
because if he is, let's get him in because that dude was a winger.
He's
no, leave him there. I want Ryan Kent.
He's either.
Oh,
love it.
Ryan Kent would be a good buy, though, in my opinion.
I think he'd be decent.
Yeah.
Not at the very top of the list, but I think he'd be all right. You know, for the price he probably cost, I think he'd give you a decent end product. But to be honest,
we did have Ryan Kent on our show. Just saying, when we
we did actually,
not like in person, but we did mention him.
We asked him, but he won't come on.
He's not Chris Kelly who's going to abuse him, so he just didn't fancy.
I just don't like him. I just don't like him.
Chris.
I'd have Morelos over him, and he's an absolute melt. Is that bloke?
You have Roof back next.
Get Defoe.
Get Roof back.
I would have Roof back.
Don't get me wrong. If Marcelo Bielsa wants a player and he comes in, he's going to get all the support in the world. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm not Marcelo Bielsa. That's why I'm sat at home on my sofa talking about Leeds United, and he's prepping the team for tomorrow.
Honest, he probably is too, to be fair.
Yeah, true.
Watching us right now.
Yeah. It's like so he might come in and a season under Bielsa, and he might be an absolute world beater. Who knows? So I'm always happy to have egg on my face about players if they come in and light the world up. Do you know what I mean? It's like people going on about, you said, we were all saying RDP was dumb a few weeks ago, by the way.
Yeah.
Because everyone thought it was.
I'm still saying it.
But, Phil A, I tend to listen to Phil A. He tends to be the sort of oracle, doesn't he? So
imagine, though, if RDP did sign.
I can't
after all this,
I reckon Phil Miles,
and he was like a complete flop. I just imagine after all this kind of what's the name, and he just absolutely massively flops it.
No, that won't happen.
Burnley away or something.
Hey, it can't happen. Have you seen?
It won't. But
I reckon Phil Miles is fact checked Phil here.
No,
I do.
No,
I think he is.
That account. It is very funny.
I think he is.
Nah, I love Phil Hay.
It's Phil Miles.
You never see fact check Phil Hay and Phil Miles in the same room, do you?
Or on the same Twitter thread, so you know.
No, you don't. You don't.
You do. I can find this actually. You can see us both on the same Twitter thread. That's not really proof of anything, though.
Yeah, but all you do, Phil, is you log out of fact check Phil Hay and you log into Phil Miles.
Yeah, I've got a few different phones for it as well. So yeah,
you don't. You can do it all off one phone, mate. That sounds like somebody who's done this a lot of times, actually. But you can't do it on one phone.
It's nice of fans of other clubs to be offering us their players, but no thanks, mate. We don't want Shaqiri.
Shaqiri? I don't want Shaqiri.
I think Shaqiri Origi get offered to other clubs.
Yeah.
We'll pay you X amount, and will you take Shaqiri and Origi?
Yeah.
Dear me.
Origi will dine out forever on his Champions League run of goals.
To be fair, he's scored in the Champions League at final and semi-final. If I had scored 2 goals in my career, you take it. You do take it, don't you?
He'll be a legend, man.
No matter what he does in his career now, Origi, he'll never ever beat that.
No,
he could retire tomorrow, and he would be a sport. He could retire and be a sportsman's dinner speaker just from those 2 goals. But he could. That's the thing. Now he could if he wanted to. But I'm giving career advice now to Divock Origi.
I'm not gonna lie, but
you and your dad signing him up for after dinners.
Get him on, get him signed up.
I'm not gonna lie.
Everything.
I'm not gonna lie, we haven't spoken about Tottenham for about half an hour.
I've said that already. Like, I'm just thinking, when was the last time we spoke about Spurs? This has been an hour of transfer show, which I've really enjoyed. But
they bottle everything, though, don't they? Tottenham. I mean, they are the biggest Spurs.
That's what I mean.
All this lot.
Their fans going on about Bielsa burnout, and they're the biggest bunch of bottlers that I've ever witnessed. I mean, you don't go to a cup final and basically resign yourself to losing, which what it looked like to me when they went up against City. It looked like, we might grab a lucky one.
Daniel Levy decided he didn't want to win it before they even got there.
Yeah. Like, it cost him cash, wasn't it?
You see the stat about Mourinho is the only manager in history to beat Guardiola in a cup final. You fired him 5 days before a cup final.
I didn't know that stat. But
it's madness.
And it just shows, like, if I'm a fan of Spurs or just a fan of a football club, it shows just how little they're bothered about winning silverware and more about money, because it was all about league position. Yeah. It was all about, how much they would have to pay. And they didn't even have to pay him fuck all anyway, because he's got another job. He got a job within 2 weeks. So, he's at TalkSport till Euros are on, and then he's gone to Roma. So it's like, honestly, he didn't have to pay him. So they could have got rid of him weeks ago. Do you know what I mean? But it just...
I'm just imagining Roma fans, though, listening to their manager on some radio show in England with Alan Brazil.
I'm not going to lie, not just a radio show, but the worst radio show in the sport. With the pundits they have on.
Have you seen the tweet about Jamie O'Hara what he said about PSG?
Oh, that's a shocker. That was a shocker, that wasn't it?
Yeah.
Basically, the one where he said if you take Neymar and Mbappe out of
Did you see the response?
PSG, yeah, he had a shocker though, didn't he? It was
someone said to him, if you take Spurs off your CV, you're just working in Weatherspoons. He's a clown, isn't he? He was the one that, when he was going, just get Harry Redknapp and Robbie Keane in. That's what he said. Get Harry Redknapp and Robbie Keane in.
I want to hit up Jay in the comments. I know, because obviously Spurs fans, get Bielsa. Any club now in the Premier League that loses their manager is going to go, get Bielsa. The good thing is we know that the majority of clubs in the Premier League, certainly the Greedy Six, they're not Bielsa clubs.
Mate, I don't think you'd go to any
other
Premier League club.
No,
I'm preparing for a tie from Arsenal Fan TV to do like a whole thing, just begging Bielsa to come to Leeds and all that.
Did you see Troops' reaction to Aubameyang getting taken off?
That was me during the Man United game, by the way, at 4-0. Make a change. So I can relate. But, dearie me, who did we take off again?
Aubameyang for William.
Yeah. Aubameyang for William. How many times did he say that?
We've 6 minutes on the clock, bearing in mind Aubameyang had just hit the post. What are you doing? It is a crazy decision.
It's mental.
That is an absolute shocker. I honestly thought...
I don't like this. Listen, Lee, I see some fans, they're just making money. He's fucking passionate about his football club. You might not agree with the way he reacts, but I'm sure he'd rather his club win the UEFA Cup final as opposed to losing. I'm telling you that much. I think they get too much unfair stick, man. Fucking leave him to it. If you don't like it, don't watch it. Simple.
But Lee's been consistent throughout, hasn't he? He's not changed his opinion. He has been genuinely consistent. Whether they've won, lost, he's been consistent with what he said.
He went for a gal yesterday.
Yeah.
It went off, but yeah.
But that I honestly thought on Before the Whistle Blows, that's the first thing we'd have been discussing. Arteta's sacking. I can't believe they're probably going to give him to the end of the season. But I thought
summer.
That they had one shot on target, and they were 1-0 down in a European semi-final. They had one shot on target in the game.
Yeah, he's definitely. It will be announced after the last game of the season. He's gone. He's gone without a shadow of a doubt. They'll be lining someone else up. I've seen that on TalkSport. One of their quality pundits or one of the fans saying, "Bring Wenger back." Yeah, that's a good idea.
He'd do better. He would do a lot. He'd done a lot better than what. But anyway, that's the. Are we going to discuss Leeds Tottenham, or
Let's
just go for
Arsenal,
predictions? Let's go for predictions. Let's go for some predictions then. Leeds versus Tottenham Hotspur. What are you saying, Phil?
Just to try and up the Spurs' actual talking points, I'm going to try and throw some more things in there to sort of back up what I'm about to say.
We're not talking about Spurs here, mate. We're not. We're talking about other stuff.
So I think tomorrow comes down to individual battles. I think first of all it'll come down to the lineup, which before the game, I'm hoping that we're all on here just buzzing that we have seen Calvin Phillips and Raphinha in the team. If Raphinha is in the team, I've always said to you guys, I prefer to see him on the right, but just because of how suspect Serge Aurier is at right back, someone running at Serge Aurier, and I love Jack Harrison, don't get me wrong, I'm happy to see Jackie on the right and Raphinha go at him, because I think if Raphinha isolates Serge Aurier, we've got a penalty, 100% it's happening. I think if we've got Patrick Bamford pressing high up the pitch, Hugo Lloris has made the biggest blunder in a World Cup final we've seen in years, and no one talks about it because they won. I think individual battles all over the pitch, if we win that Bamford versus Lloris battle in the pressing, if we put Raphinha on Serge Aurier and just go at him, Calvin Phillips, I don't care, any of their players, any individual battle, he's winning it. As long as that happens, those three key battles, I would be confident as going to get a good result. I wouldn't mind a draw, but at the same time, I think we need those two players to play 100% to get any sort of result. One of them maybe, but both ideally to get a win. I'd fancy us to get a 1-1 draw, but if they both play, I'm going to go 2-1.
Well, so, I'm just laughing at Joe laughing. What's
I was laughing because I knew that you were laughing at me laughing. So I was just laughing.
Always the best content on all these TV. JCK, what are you saying for this game, mate, prediction-wise?
Well, I think, like I said earlier, mate, I think it's going to come down to the transition. If we can break on them, having nicked the ball off the Kane, Sons, Bales of the world, then I fancy us. I'm fingers crossed KP and Raph are in. They're both training, we've seen today. So I'm going 2-1 us and undefeated against the Greedy Six at home this season.
I just want to see Daniel Levy. I hope he goes to the game tomorrow. I just want the camera just to pan on Daniel Levy as we go. If we win that tomorrow,
with Victor Orta in his face.
Say no to it. But he would do it. That's the thing with Victor Orta. He would genuinely do it. It's
doesn't give a flying monkeys, does it?
He's getting two-footed.
But you can see it. You saw it in the documentary. I thought he came across really badly on that. Levy. I thought Mourinho came across well, and you can see why it didn't work out for him. But anyway, prediction-wise, Mr. Wayman, JJ, what you saying?
2-1 Leeds. I said that earlier, but again, it was a little bit tentative. But the fact that I think Raphinha and KP are making it, because of the way they've made the song and dance about them, I think they make it. And I think if they make it, then we win the game, man. So it's not going to be a tentative 2-1 anymore. It's going to be a confident 2-1. But come 11 o'clock, if they're not in the side and Dallas is at right wing, then you might as well fucking write it off. No, because honestly, that lineup was brutes.
Yeah.
Please let Dallas score tomorrow. Please let Dallas score tomorrow.
Yeah, what? From the right wing?
I'm telling you now, Joe.
But the lineup was not good.
Yeah, no. I'm telling you now, Joe. If I see that lineup tomorrow, mate, there's no KP and Raphinha, I'm torpedoing about 6 bottles of lager before it kicks off. I'm just going to sit there and cry drunk.
It's your phone, it will be.
I'm going to say 2-1 Leeds as well. But guys, please join us in 45 minutes. We will be live with Before the Whistle Blows. I'm sure Hal will have some more witty things to say, as always. So make sure you join us anyway. Make sure you join us, guys, and I guess we'll leave it there, unless anyone's got anything else to add. That's a no then. No one's got anything else to add.
Yeah, I love Ryan Kent.
There you go. Ryan Kent winner tomorrow. You heard it here first. We will leave it there then, guys. Join us in 45 minutes.
Have a nice evening, people. See you in the morning.